And I want us to take stock of our lives and say, am I really, does my life show, does my bank account show, does my schedule show that my sacrifice is to God? My sacrifice is to Jesus Christ, to his church, to his people, to his plan, to his word. Am I sacrificing to me, or am I sacrificing to him? And if you are those that I mentioned at the beginning that are calling out for holy fire, I want you to, again, double your efforts to look at Christ, to be transformed in his image, to behold him. And as you're beholding him, in a message that I may release at another time, it's been recorded, but it explains that wording there in depth. As you're beholding the image of Christ, the Holy Spirit is in you doing like a father would do for his child, that you're looking in the mirror and the father's combing the child's hair and he knows what it's supposed to look like. The Holy Spirit knows what Christ looks like. And as you look at Christ, the Holy Spirit engages and begins to transform you into the image of Christ. We need to behold Christ. And in that moment of beholding him in his presence, we need to ask him to show us where the sacrifice is in our life. Now, of course, you can start looking at your checkbook and your schedule and making some practical arrangements. But if you really want this to go deep, if you really want this to go all the way, if you really want the holy fire that never sleeps, that consumes the acceptable sacrifice, then you need to do it in his presence, and you need to seek him as an individual, as a married couple, as a family, as church leadership, and go before him and say, okay, we want the holy fire. So we're going to do what it takes to present the acceptable sacrifice. Peter says, you're a living stone being built up as a spiritual house to offer spiritual sacrifices. Yes, it's true that no more sacrifice for sin is left, but that doesn't mean no sacrifice is left. Paul says, I'm filling up in my body what is lacking in the sufferings of Christ. In other words, Christ's suffering is continuing in the world, and it's continuing through me, Paul says, and I'm filling it up. Children of God, you can get into the details later, but we need to present our lives as the living sacrifice that Jesus is looking for.